Hey guys, welcome back to Fieldnotes. Summer is now fully upon us, and a lot of our spring projects are now wrapping up. We've had some spotted turtle work going on, and that's pretty much over with for the year. And then we've had some other small DoD grants that we've been working on here and there. But now, as a lot of that's kind of coming to a close, we're starting some long-term projects, so we're getting them kind of off the ground right now. And one of these projects that we're setting up is a hydrology project that relates to flatwood salamanders. So this week we've been doing our initial site visits. We have our properties picked out, but we need to select some wetlands to install the wells on. And so we've been going out, looking at a lot of satellite, a lot of LiDAR data, and trying to select the appropriate wetlands for this project. And we've got about 3/4 of them installed already. And I think I'm going to come back in a week or two and wrap the rest up, and then we should be good to go. We'll have a month of kind of a test period where we come back and make sure all the data loggers and everything are running smoothly. And then from there on out, we'll be collecting data for multiple years, at least 2, hopefully up to 5. Some long-term data would give us much better information, much better insight into the nature of these wetlands. But yeah, it's something different. I haven't done hydrology work like this, so it's not quite as flashy as, catching animals, marking animals, stuff like that, but it's nonetheless super important. Wetland restoration, wetland health in these flatwoods savannas are critical to the persistence of flatwood salamanders as well as many other species. So I think this is a cool project, and we're going to get some really cool data from it. And let's go check out some of the finished product. So here we've got one of our finished hydrology wells, and it doesn't look like much, and it really is very simple. It's about a 5-foot PVC pipe, about 2 inches in diameter. It's got a bunch of little fine slits all the way down the sides that allow water to equalize within the pipe and outside in the wetland. And so we take this, go either to a dry basin in a wetland, or as you can see here, there's still some water left. Some of the wetlands have been pretty deep, and that's been a bit of a challenge trying to drive those when there's still at least 2 feet of water. But we either use post hole diggers or a hand auger, or sometimes we're just able to use the stake driver to pound this about 1 meter into the ground. And then once it's in there, meter underground, we've got this small section above ground. We spray paint it just to help it keep a low profile. We don't want to be drawing attention from people who might mess with the data logger, or I don't know, maybe try to pull the pipe out of the ground. So kind of camouflage it a little bit. And then we just take a little cap, drill a hole through, tie some string to it, and down towards the bottom is this data logger. And this logger, it just kind of sits suspended towards the bottom, and it records pressure. And when we have the data, the pressure data, we are able to determine how deep the water is, how far submerged this is. And so we're able to know a lot about water depth in this wetland throughout the year. And we've also got some rain gauges and stuff set up on the property, and so we'll be able to compare the data we get from these loggers in the wetlands with the local rainfall. And so we'll really have a good idea of how these wetlands are behaving throughout the season. We also installed some dry wells in the nearby uplands, and these are wells that should never inundate. The data from these dry wells will give us a baseline for barometric pressure and will help us interpret the data that we get from the wetland wells. So over the course of this project, we're hoping to install about 40 of these wells in ephemeral wetlands in flatwoods habitat. And we've got sites in both Georgia and Florida, and the wetlands that we've got wells in some of them are current flatwood salamander ponds that support a existing population right now. We've got some ponds that have historical records but are not known to support salamanders currently. And then we've got other ponds on the landscape that are ephemeral look like they could possibly be suitable for salamanders, or at least were suitable at one point historically. And they're all on sort of a gradient of degradation, fire suppression, hardwood intrusion. And so one of the big goals going forward, this is going to be a long-term project, hopefully spanning up to like 5 years, is that over the course of the project, active management and wetland restoration will occur in the wetlands where we're collecting data. And whether it be more prescribed fire in the wetland basin, whether it be herbicide application, or mechanical removal of trees and woody shrubs, we're hoping to detect some changes in the hydrology, in the depth of the wetland, the hydro period, and that we can correlate to wetland restoration. That'd be some really neat information to gather, and so hopefully we'll get that in the next 5 years. So that's pretty much it, guys. I told you that it wasn't a really flashy project. We're just putting PVC pipes in wetlands. So hopefully, some of my next videos will be a little more interesting as far as, animal content. However, I do think this is a really important project. I think we could collect a lot of really valuable data and answer some important questions that will inform flatwood salamander conservation going forward. And so for that, I'm really excited, and I'm happy to be learning new skills on this project. I haven't done much with hydrology or pond breeding amphibians in this capacity, so it's fun, it's exciting, and as long as I can stay out of the heat, or the worst of the heat, I think I'll be all right. So I will leave it there, and hopefully I'll have some interesting stuff on a different project next month. We've got another project in the works starting up in Florida, and hopefully by next month I'll be able to share about that a little bit, but we'll see. But until then, everybody stay cool out there, enjoy your summer, and I will hopefully see you back here next month.